I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you for joining me for your daily dose of news. Today is June 22nd, 2011. We're going to begin with some news for you about our elderly citizens, our dear elderly citizens. They are in crisis. Listen to this. Hunger rates have more than doubled for poor seniors here in the United States in recent years, and we should tell you that a recent survey by the Government Accountability Office of about 125 area agencies on aging, well, it found that almost 80% of them reported an increase in requests for home-delivered meals since the start of the economic downturn. 90% of low-income seniors, you should know, are without sufficient resources to buy food, and they do not receive they receive no meals under the federal meals program. This is very serious. Our seniors are hungry. We should also tell you that approximately 50% of all health conditions that are impacting older Americans, well, about 50% of them are directly connected to a lack of nutrients. We want you to know that nearly 80% of aging agencies report an increased demand for home-delivered meals, yet more than 1 in 5 say they are unable to serve everybody who requests the meals. We should also tell you that the cost of a 1-year supply of home-delivered meals, 1 year, is roughly equal to 1 day in the hospital. So come on, folks, we got to get our resources together and help our older Americans. Let's change gears here in the race for the presidency 2012. We should tell you that Newt Gingrich's 2 top fundraising advisors have resigned. Apparently they were having trouble raising money, doing the job of raising money for Newt. Now his campaign is reportedly carrying more than $1 million in debt. You'll remember that earlier this month, a total of 16 top advisors abandoned his campaign. Well, for his part, Gingrich says he is in it to win it. He says he's going to win it no matter what it takes. Well, he is personally wealthy, so I guess we'll see how much of his own personal finances he's willing to wager to get himself elected. In business news, we are cheap. Get this. It only cost J.P. Morgan $153.6 million to settle charges that it misled investors in the sale of a complex mortgage-backed security. The charges are coming from a 2007 sale of a collateralized debt obligation, which is called a CDO. Apparently, J.P. Morgan Securities marketed it to investors without disclosing that a hedge fund involved in the creation of the CDO was also betting that it would decline in value. Can't get much scummier than that. And J.P. Morgan apparently didn't care who got hurt in their little scam. Among the investors in this particular vehicle called Squared CDO were a faith-based nonprofit in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and a New York asset manager for General Motors pension plans. Oh, well. Tough luck, guys. You just lost your money. That's your problem. J.P. Morgan is the most profitable U.S. bank. It made a $5.6 billion, with a B. It made a $5.6 billion profit in the first quarter of this year. I'm telling you, the sociopaths are running the country. We have got to get these people out of these top positions in these corporations, out of government, they got to go because they don't care about anybody but themselves. Let's turn to state and local news from New Jersey. The New Jersey Senate has passed a bill requiring sharply higher contributions for health benefits and pensions from government workers. There are more than 500,000 government workers who are going to be affected by the bill if it passed. It also suspends the union's ability to bargain over health care. Now the bill has to get through the Assembly Committee, then it has to pass the entire lower house before it reaches the governor's desk. But we should tell you this. Republican Governor Chris Christie there in New Jersey is the driving force behind the bill, and he is praising the Senate for its action. Rich get richer. The rich are doing good in America. And I tell you, the sociopaths are running the country. Those guys have to go. And what about this from Gastonia, North Carolina? A man there is in jail on charges of larceny. He's 59 years old. He allegedly robbed a bank for $1. And he did it because he wanted to be sent to prison so he could get health care. That's right. Police say Richard James Verone handed the teller a note demanding the money, claiming that he had a gun. He then sat down and waited for the cops to arrive, and when they got there, he was sitting in the lobby in a chair waiting for them. He was unarmed, and he said he asked for $1 to prove that his demands were medical, not monetary. He says he has a growth in his chest, 2 ruptured discs, and no job. He's hoping a 3-year stint in prison will help him get the medical care that he needs. That is sad. This is the greatest country in the world? Tell me you're kidding. This is why Obama's job is so hard, because the people who are running most of the banks and industry and business and most of politics do not have a conscience. They do not care. They can do anything to anyone, and they never even blink. And it makes Obama's job very, very difficult. because you're dealing with people who simply don't give a darn. So you got to support him, and let's help all of us work together to get these people out of these jobs, out of business, out of industry, and out of politics, so we can go back to a humane America, the one that most of us are used to. Those are your stories. I'm Carol Angela Davis. Thank you for joining me. See you tomorrow.